Line 5 in human design. Universalization, projection, and practical leadership. Line 5 is the line of universalization. It takes something specific and turns it into something useful for many. This is why line 5 often carries a natural leadership energy. Not always official leadership, but the kind of leadership where people look at you and assume that you have the answer. And that word assume is the key, because line 5 lives inside a very strong projection field. The core theme of line 5 is built to deliver practical solutions. It's the person who can look at a messy situation and instinctively go, okay, here's what we need to do. So line 5 wants the results. It wants the fix. It wants the method that works in real life and not just in theory. So that's why a line 5 energy is often drawn to strategy, systems, teaching, consulting, guiding, problem solving, leadership roles where decision making matters. And it's not here to talk about, concepts forever, but it's here to make something work. So why does people project onto line 5s? Line 5 has this public quality. So people often meet a line 5 and unconsciously assign a role to them, like you can help me, or this person can fix this, or she can save us, or he has the answers. And this can feel, of course, flattering, but it can also be very heavy, because if you accept the projections that aren't correct, you'll get trapped in the expectations that were never yours to carry. So the first mastery of a line 5 is learning this sentence. I don't have to live inside other people's stories about myself. So the two sides of the projection is the savior or the villain. Line 5 tends to be in extremes. So if you solve the problem, you're the hero. And if you can't solve it or you say no, you can become the disappointment. And this is why line 5 people often have complicated experiences with reputation. They can be loved intensively and they can be misunderstood so quickly, depending on the expectations of others. So the line 5 lesson is very practical. Be clear, be specific, don't overpromise, and don't ever try to be anything for anybody. The penetrating quality that line 5 have is penetrating impact. You can see through situations. It can cut to the core and it can influence very quickly. And this is why timing matters for line 5ers. If you speak too soon or you act too soon, you can trigger projection backlash, right? And if you want to be in the correct moment, especially when your strategy and authority supports it, your influence lands cleanly. So line 5 and karma is meeting known forces. In human design language, line 5 is often described as carrying the theme of karma in the sense that it meets patterns that feels familiar. Repeated dynamics with projection, expectation, rescue roles, responsibility, or influence. It's not karma as a punishment, but it's more like your life will keep presenting you with the same type of scenario until you learn how to navigate it correctly. And the navigation is always the same: discernment and boundaries. So the shadow side of a line 5, we have shadow side and we have the sunny sides. So when line 5 is in a shadow, it can look like you wanting to rescue people. You are perhaps overcommitting. You're trying to manage other people's outcomes. Maybe you feel blamed, misunderstood. You can have like paranoia about what are people thinking about me. Maybe you're hiding to avoid being projected onto, becoming rigid or defensive just to protect your reputation. And this shadow side is not you being a bad person, but this shadow is simply losing yourself inside of that projection field. So the gift of this line 5, the sunny side, when line 5 is aligned, it becomes extremely powerful. It becomes the one who can say, I have a practical solution. I can guide you through this. This is what works. And because this universalization is often, it often becomes the line that can teach others in a way that is very accessible. So line 5 can take something very complex and turn it into something usable and more simple. So this is why so many line 5 becomes leaders and teachers, facilitators, innovators, entrepreneurs, public voices, and problem solvers in their community. And how can you work with your line 5 more correctly? If you carry line 5 energy, here are some keys to know. Be very clear about what you offer and what you don't offer. Let your strategy and your authority decide when you say yes and when you say no. Don't rescue anybody. Offer solutions only when there is readiness there. And manage expectations up front. Protect your reputation by protecting your own boundaries, because the truth here is that line 5 is here to help many, but it's not by sacrificing yourself. So line 5 helps many by being practical, by being clear, and being correct. So to sum this up, line 5 is the universalizer. It's a practical leader who can offer solutions that help many people and who master life by staying clear inside the projection field. If this was valuable knowledge for you, please consider dropping my page a follow.